Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, August 16th. Good to see you again. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your Thursday morning to join us for live television here in Enid, Oklahoma. And grab a cup of coffee and join us for the next 30 minutes because we've got entertainment news. We've got an interview coming up. The doctor's in the house. We've got some news, weather, and sports all within 30 minutes. And we're live streaming around the globe to all of our friends around the globe. We want to say good morning to you. And we're coming to you live on Channel 12 and 112 here in Enid. So thank you for joining us. Good morning, Enid. It is time to rise and shine.
Good morning, Enid. Thanks again for joining us today. It seems like school's back in session, isn't it? So we better take a look at that bus stop forecast.
You mean you didn't go to school the first day?
I didn't. I'm skipping today. I don't advise that. The current temperature is about 71 degrees, so it's pretty nice this morning. Going to get up to a high of 91 later today and a low tonight of 70 degrees. Winds are about 10 to 20 miles an hour out of the south-southeastern side, but partly cloudy and possible afternoon thunderstorms, so watch out for that.
On today's second day of school, right?
Yes.
So Nina started? Okay.
Yes.
It gets confusing when everybody starts at different times across the state. So.
It does. But then you're reminded when you're heading to work and you got all this traffic.
Yes.
All at the same time. So yes, it started yesterday. For those that are interested on what to plan for this weekend and you need the weather, here it is. It looks like it's going to be partly cloudy in the low 90s, high 80s. So I think that's a pretty good weekend in August. So definitely going to be a warm one, nice and cloudy.
I'll take anything under 100.
Yes.
Because it could be 140 real easy this time of year. At 7:32, good morning, Enid. Let's look at the temperatures on this day in history, if you will. Let's go back. Yeah, there's the typical August temperature. Back in 1909 on this day of August 16, it was 110 degrees. And look at that cool. Back in 92. It was 58 degrees, so you can see the record highs and lows in Enid on this day, 110. I can sense that in August. So, well, again, we're certainly pleased that you've joined us today for show number 182, as we're pleased to provide all kinds of news and information with you and for you. We turn to one person. That's Derrick Silas, the bow tie guy, and he has the news that happened overnight in the Oklahoma Minute.
In world news and national news, famed singer and songwriter Aretha Franklin has been reported to be gravely ill but surrounded by family while receiving hospice care. And the state of Nebraska carried out the first execution using fentanyl in the United States. In state news, heavy rains and flooding have been sweeping through the country, including damaged roads even within the state of Oklahoma. Here in local news, the next Citizens Police Academy classes will begin on August 21st. For more information, you can contact Lieutenant Dustin Albright at dalbright@enid.org. And there have been very important updates on the Champlain Pool. The pool is now open on weekends from noon to 6 p.m. for an open swim. The lap swim is open now Tuesday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Cardio is Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the pool officially closes September 2nd and will not be open on Labor Day. On this day in history, in 1958, pop singer and actress Madonna is born in Detroit, Michigan. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Thanks, Derrick. Well, one of my favorite things to talk about is food, so let's take a look at that school menu and see what's happening with that. Looks like we're having Salisbury steak today with scalloped potatoes, breaded green beans, banana, and a whole grain hot roll with milk.
And tomorrow we are having some chicken sandwiches, potato wedges, ranch beans, pickles, slices, tropical fruit, and milk. So Friday is definitely the day to go to school, I'd say.
And one thing that we've learned about the school menus, you go to school to learn, not for the food, right? It's 7:35. Good morning, Enid. And I'm not really in the school program yet, routine yet, because I missed the menus, but thank you, Erin and Sara, for doing that. It's time to bring in the cows.
Yes.
The Holsteins.
Definitely. One of our favorite moments throughout the show is to remind you guys that we want to hear from you. So if there's anything you want to share with us, go ahead and email it to gme@enid.org. Madonna forgot to share her picture with us this morning, but we do want to wish her a happy birthday today. And we also have a couple of other pictures. I will go ahead and let Steve talk about Viva. She turns 95 today.
That's Viva.
Oh, Viva.
Viva will be 95 in a few days, so we want to say a very special happy birthday to Viva Lovett. She lives in Oklahoma City, and she'll be celebrating number 95. So way to go, Viva. We look up to you. So
happy birthday.
Yeah.
And if any of you did not enjoy all the back-to-school pictures yesterday, you're about to enjoy these today. These are some of the first day of school pictures that some of our viewers wanted to share with us. Like you can see, several kids excited to go back to school.
Holding their signs.
That's right. And school's still starting in some areas, so if you want to share those pictures, there's always room for to share them on our next show. So don't forget to share
My
them.
grandson starts school today in Norman. 5th grade. Wow. I talked to him last night. This is a funny story. I talked to him last night. I said, I just want to let you know I was thinking of you and have a great time on 5th grade. And I said, do you know that Grandpa went to 5th grade? Longest pause on the phone. He goes, no. I go, I went to the 5th grade. Another pause. He goes, no, you didn't, Grandpa, because he's always known me as the old guy, you know. He could not connect that I was in the 5th grade back in the dark ages. So that was kind of funny. So I tried to convince him that at one time I was in the 5th grade, even though that was a long time ago. Enough of the personal stories. At 7:37, we're working our way to a high of 91 degrees today. And what's next?
Well, after the busyness of the first week of school, I'm sure you're looking for plans for this weekend.
That's right.
So if you're looking for any activities to take the kids to or anything to do, here is Erin with what's happening.
And we do have a bunch of events going on. We have, starting us off, is KNID in the Wild Expo. So if you're a fan of hunting, fishing, any outdoor activities, this is definitely your place to be this weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday at the Central National Bank Center. It's free admission, and it's from 9 to 6 on Saturday and 10 to 5 on Sunday. They'll have vendors and information, educational activities, including archery, hunter education, paintball, and there will be surprises from Oklahoma sports teams. So definitely fun to go to if you're looking for any kind of outdoor adventure or outdoor sporting. After that, we have the open house with Enid Roller Girls on Saturday. There was a game cancellation, so now they're letting everyone come join them and skate from 6 to 8 at Skate Town Enid. Then after Skate Town Enid, they're going to Wings to Go at 8 p.m. to talk and eat with the Roller Girls, and you get to do some Q&A with them. If you want to try out, they are recruiting for skaters, refs, and non-skating officials. It's family friendly, so if you're interested in being in a roller derby, this is definitely your place to go, and you get to meet all of the roller derby girls and hang out with them afterwards at Wings to Go. And then after, this one's a little bit in advance, there's Cash Days, Professional Street Legal Drag Racing. It's not until next weekend, Saturday, August 25th. It's going to be legal drag racing in front of Chisholm Trail Expo Center on Purdue. It's $15 in advance, $20 at the door, and kids are $8. It'll be from 2 to 11, but the races don't begin until 5 p.m. It's a competition. It's benefiting Keeping the Lines Foundation, which helps EMT, fire, police, military, first responders, and families of all of these people. So it's a definitely great event to go to. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be food trucks, there'll be concessions and beer. So definitely a lot of fun because I've never seen professional street drag racing, but I think it'll be a really great event to go to. And that's what's happening.
Thank you, Erin. And Erin, Sara, thank you for reminding us about the importance of slowing down school zones. Sometimes we have to get into that routine, realizing there's more traffic than normal. And at 7:39, we want to show this brief little promo to remind us about school zones, school safety, and let's be careful around schools. As kids aren't looking, they're just running, trying to get to the school building. So you have to be that extra set of eyes. We'll be back after this with our very special guest.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Eric Reddick, Enid Police Department, Sergeant of the Traffic Division. It's school time again, which means you will probably be driving through a school zone during your day. Always observe the speed limit posted in a school zone, and watch out for children crossing the street. If a crossing guard enters a school crossing with his or her stop sign held up, be sure to stop. When you see a school bus turn on its flashing red lights and deploy its stop sign, traffic coming from both directions must stop. Remember especially to keep an eye out for children crossing the street. Let's make this a safe school year. Thank you.
Welcome back to our show, live television in Enid, Oklahoma, and also live streaming around the globe. So good morning, world. It's 7:40, we're at Central Time on this Thursday, August 16th. Also, I'm reminded that I think this is the date that Elvis Presley passed away, August 16th. We were talking earlier this morning. I remember, you know how when Kennedy was shot and 9/11, you remember where you were and all these things. I was at doing some commercials, and a young lady come running through to the glass window, and she was in tears. I couldn't figure out what was going on. She was this huge Elvis Presley fan, and she said, Elvis has died. So anyway, that was August 16th. That had to be back in the 80s, a long time ago. I know you don't remember, but anyway, I want to say it's 80s. Enough of that. Our special guest, Enid native Dr. Trent Hulse. Dr. Hulse, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We appreciate you being here. And as we say, we have a little tag team event that we're going to go on, so we'll just play 20 questions with you real quick.
Right.
Good morning, Dr. Hulse.
Good morning.
Awesome to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
We do want to know everything about you, so tell us briefly about your background and your role at St. Mary's.
Okay. I was born and raised here in Enid. Went to Enid High School, graduated from there, and then went on to OU to receive my undergraduate degree. And then that was 4 years, and then I went on to medical school at the Health Science Center in Oklahoma City. And that was 4 years, and then I did my 5 years of orthopedic surgery residency at OU in McBride down in Oklahoma City. So, and then right after that, came back home. So, good to be home.
And Dr. Hulse, doing some little preparation for our interview, I was looking on some information in regard to baby boomers. I fit into that category, and they were listing the top 10 health concerns for baby boomers. And some of the topics were heart conditions, Alzheimer's, cancer, depression was one of those, and also diabetes, and the list went on. But also, one of the concerns, the top 10 concerns, was arthritis and joint replacement. And that really kind of surprising to me. The cancer and the heart, those all kind of fit in there as a baby boomer. But would you, right off the bat, would you define arthritis, and why has that topic, joint replacement and arthritis, why is it an issue for baby boomers?
Well, you know, arthritis literally is just inflammation of the joints. And so there's a lot of different types of arthritis, but the main one that we know of is osteoarthritis, which is kind of the wear and tear arthritis. So that's the one that is more associated with age. And so as the baby boomers are aging, they are experiencing some of this wear and tear arthritis. And then, you know, it's something that you can't avoid. And it happens just about everybody eventually. And so it is something that, you know, you have to think about and that most people will experience. And so they're going to want to start looking at options for, you know, how to relieve their pain and stuff like that. So it is a big issue for them. But the good news is there are definitely procedures and treatments out there that can help them, you know, live a full and active life even into their older years. So.
I think I hurried up our conversation a little bit. I know that Sara was going to ask you about the arthritis, so I appreciate your defining that, because we hear the term arthritis quite often.
But we also hear about joint replacement, especially for the boomers. Can you tell us a little bit about that joint replacement?
Yeah, you know, the most common ones that are performed would be the hip and the knee. There are also other joints that can be replaced, shoulders and elbows and things like that. But I think the most common ones are the hip and the knee. And so specifically for us here in Enid, we me specifically, I operate at St. Mary's mostly, and they have a wonderful joint institute that has a whole program preoperatively and postoperatively for joint replacement. You know, it's a big surgery to get your joint replaced, but nowadays the recovery has been advanced significantly than it was before. You know, it used to be people be in the hospital for weeks at a time after their joint replacement. Now they're staying 1, maybe 2 nights, and then they're going back home. So it's really, the advances have come a long ways, and so it's not something to be super scared of anymore, because it's a really good option once you get to that point of arthritis.
Dr. Hulse, I fit into that baby boomer category, but I also was a person that's had an active lifestyle. I ran competitive in high school and college, and I've run marathons and just been active all my life. And I did so thinking that it was going to keep me healthy. I wasn't going to have aches and pains.
Right.
But several hours ago when I woke up this morning, there was a lot of aches and pains when I'm getting out of the bed, and I'm thinking, this is not what I signed up for. I've stayed active all my life so I wouldn't feel this way. So I have those aches and pains. When do you know it's time for the knee or joint replacement? When does a person say, okay, I can't take the pain anymore and I've got to do something?
Right. So, you know, like I said, it is a big surgery, and it's a big decision to undergo a joint replacement. And so, you know, I think you have to get to the point, like you said, that you just wake up and tell yourself, I just can't do this anymore. You know, I need to do something else. I've tried everything. I've tried exercises and injections and all the different treatment options. And what I tell my patients, you know, that it is a big decision. So you need to make some life plans around that. But, you know, your body's going to tell you when you finally realize and you wake up and you say, I can't do this anymore. You know, I need to do something else to be able to walk pain-free. And so that's what I tell my patients. You know, you can have bone-on-bone arthritis that people like to talk about, but I see plenty of people with bone-on-bone arthritis that are doing just fine. You know, they can manage it symptomatically. So just because you have really bad arthritis, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need a joint replacement. It's more based upon your kind of quality of life and how much pain you're in on a daily basis, and whether or not, you know, you've tried everything else short of surgery. So.
Talked about pain. So regarding pain, what is your take on CBD oils?
Yeah, that's obviously a pretty hot topic nowadays. You know, you see all the CBD plus shops opening up, and
Kind of overnight.
yeah, I didn't really know much about it. Still, you know, or is a little bit, you know, unsure of what exactly it is. You know, it kind of falls into, I think, the supplement category. It's not necessarily an FDA approved medication. So I think there's still some literature to be, you know, investigated about its, you know, effectiveness for pain. So I don't necessarily want to come out and say, oh, it's great, you can take this and all your pain's going to go away. I don't think it's to there yet. However, you know, I think it's very well documented that our country has a significant opioid problem, an epidemic, really. And so I think it's well worth our time and effort to investigate all alternative options that are non-narcotic in nature, because it's, you know, narcotics are a nasty drug, and so we want to try to find something else. And CBD may be helpful in that arena for some people, and that's okay. I think the side effect profile is pretty minimal, but I think before we would come out and just recommend it as an alternative, you know, there's some more investigation that need to be done. So.
Good morning, Enid. It is Thursday, August 16th. Our very special guest, Enid native Dr. Trent Hulse, with us from St. Mary's. As you're planning your day, the wardrobe of choice probably will be shorts, because it'll be, if you can't wear shorts, going to warm up to around 91 degrees today, and right now it's in the lower 70s. I talked a little bit earlier, Dr. Hulse, about the fact of my mindset, if I stayed active and exercised, that I'm not going to have any aches and pains later on. The other day at the gym, one of my friends came up to me and goes, man, my shoulders are killing me, and it really hurt, and the doctor said I have bursitis. So the question is, can too much exercise or lack of exercise, how does that impact our joint function? Because he had the same mindset, that he lifted weights and stayed active, he's not going to have bursitis. So where do we find that magical line of not overdoing it, I guess?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I think a lot of people worry that, or claim that, if they were really active in their younger years, then that's why they have arthritis. And there's been many studies with thousands of people that have looked at, the really active versus the not so active and followed them over 20, 30 years to see who gets arthritis and who doesn't. It turns out there is no link to exercise and arthritis. There are the same amount of people who were really active versus the people that were not active. The same amount of people got arthritis. So it's not activity related to a certain degree. Now, I think there are some significantly high impact exercises that you could do that would maybe lead, predispose you to a little bit of arthritis, but you're just day to day, jogging and swimming and cycling. Those are the best exercises to do that actually will prevent, the health benefits far outweigh the risks of that. So yeah, I don't think there's really a significant link between exercise and arthritis.
All right. I know Sara has one more question for you, Dr. Hulse, but we need to get back to our news at 7:50 this morning. And in case you missed the news just a few moments ago, we have Derrick Silas with the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you, Steve. The singer and songwriter Aretha Franklin has been reported to be gravely ill, but remains with her family as she undergoes hospice care. And the state of Nebraska carried out the first execution using fentanyl in the United States. In state news, heavy rains and flooding have been sweeping the country, but damage has been done in road constructions within the state of Oklahoma. In local news, the next Citizen Police Academy class will begin on August 21st. For more information, you can contact Lieutenant Dustin Albright. There have been updates on the Champlain Pool. The pool is open on weekends from noon to 6 p.m. for open swim. The lap swim is now Tuesday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Cardio is Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the pool officially closes September 2nd and will not be open on Labor Day. On this day in history in 1958, pop singer and actress Madonna is born in Detroit, Michigan. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you very much for that information, Derrick. And for those of you that are just joining us and missed the weather this morning, we do want to bring that back. Here is the 3-day weekend weather. As you can see, it's going to be partly cloudy and it's going to be in the low 90s and high 80s. So it's going to be a fairly good weekend for this August. Since obviously August is typically a lot hotter than this, it's going to be fairly nice. We also want to make sure that you guys have the knowledge so you guys can plan the perfect weekend plans for this weekend.
Weekends, yes. Weekends are good.
Yes, they are. And yes, we do have Dr. Hulse in the house, and I do have one more question for you. Years ago, carpal tunnel syndrome became a topic of discussion because of the introductions of computers. Is this a problem for people today?
Oh, I think as we have become more dependent upon computers and technology, you see more and more people having jobs that have them sitting at desks with a keyboard or constantly on a computer. And so I think that probably has led to maybe an increase in carpal tunnel syndrome. The good news is that it's a very treatable condition. There are some braces you can use or some activity modifications or some positioning that can help reduce that risk. But I think given the amount of dependence we have probably on technology and computers, there may be a little bit of increased incidence of that. So,
I have a personal question. We're going to pry into Dr. Hulse's life here in just a moment, but first we need to do this. It's 7:54 on this Thursday morning, and we'd like to remind you, if you're able to stay with us to 8 o'clock this morning, had a chance to interview Major Kinsley Jordan. The Air Force Ball is coming up on September 8th, so about a 15-minute visit with Major Jordan. We'll call him Doctor. Major Jordan at 8 o'clock this morning. So, well, 249-4910 is one of our most popular phone numbers, and that gives you the opportunity to adopt a pet. So at 7:54 this morning, let's see what pet has for us with Charlet.
Hi, good morning. Today we have Muriel in Penn 1, and she is a 3-month-old tabby, and she's looking for a new home. She also has another little kitten friend with her in Penn 1. And Muriel and I would like to invite you out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from 12 to 3, to come and help us finish our mural. This will be our communal cat room, and so we have a mural, and we need some help getting it done. So if you guys would like to stop by from 12 to 3 this weekend to help paint sunshine felines, hope to see you then. Oh, she's purring now, Muriel.
Kitty.
That was a very cute
You
kitty.
have a cat at home?
No, I don't. I have a dog, and that's all. I have a
Okay.
dog and a 2-year-old. That's all I need.
Okay, yeah.
That's enough for me. But we do have some city announcements for you guys that we want to make sure you guys are aware of. Next week on Tuesday, we do have the council meeting, study session and regular meeting, Tuesday, August 21st. It is scheduled to start at 5 p.m. And the regular meeting is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. at the council chambers. On Monday, we also have another meeting, MAPC meeting. That is Monday, August 20th, and it also starts at 6 p.m. and it is also will take place at the council chambers if you guys are interested in attending any of those 2 meetings.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for keeping us on track this morning. We have a road map. Some of us follow the road map and some of us don't. I tell you, I've been a little off this morning. We'd like to remind you, though, what Sarah was referring to on the city council meeting next Tuesday. Ken Mendenhall, as we talked about last week, he's an Enid native. He was inducted into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. It's a big deal. Got Mickey Mantle, Bobby Mercer, Johnny Bench, Don Haskins. These individuals, Jim Thorpe, are in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. Ken is going to be at the city council meeting next Tuesday. I want a chance to meet him. The mayor has a proclamation honoring Ken as Ken Mendenhall Day next Tuesday. So that's going to be a special time at our council meeting, so keep that in mind. So speaking of Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, Dr. Hulse, your bio says that you ran with the bull. So this is the personal question I want to ask you about. Why in the world do you want to run in front of some bulls?
Yeah, it wasn't a very smart decision.
Because you don't want to trip, right?
Yeah. No, I spent a summer in Spain. I think between my junior and senior year of college, and
that explains it. Okay.
Yeah, in college. So it wasn't exactly the smartest decision, but at the time it was fun to go up to Pamplona and do as they do when it was the festival there, but it was a strategic thing. I wanted to say I ran with the bulls, so I was at the very front, and that's the smart place to be. You don't want to be in the back where so and there's exit points along the way, and so it was a little quick run and then exit. So fortunately, no injuries that I suffered. So.
Well, you're our first guest that I'm aware of that has run with the bulls, and so that's the advice: be in front.
Yeah,
not towards the end. Dr. Hulse, excuse me. I need you to look at my throat here. Excuse me. We have just 1 minute to go. In regard to your work, is there any topic that you need to share with us in just our 60 seconds or less that we have?
On the topic of arthritis and joint replacement, I think something that Enid has that is very unique is St. Mary's. Their Joint Institute is something that is top of the line. They have a class that you go to beforehand that's educational, and then they take incredible care of you while you're there, and then have a follow-up care. So it's a wonderful institute. I suggest you look into it if you're considering a joint replacement. It's one of the first hospitals to get Joint Commission accreditation in front of all the hospitals in Oklahoma City as well. So it's really unique that we have that, and very special here, and was one of the main reasons that I wanted to come back here and be a part of that. So I would recommend taking a look at that.
Well, the Enid Plainsman came home. Dr. Hulse,
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. I guess, Sarah, we got to go? Is that it?
Thank you for joining us this morning. Have a great Thursday. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.